Hello and welcome to the other side of my dining table, because you usually sit over here and I usually sit over there, and we're changing it up today because I'm working on the sky. I'm going to work on the sky. I haven't really started yet, clearly. And there, I just started. We're off. The first piece went in just fine, so that's a good start. If you saw my last video, you saw me being rather in a state of panic, and it was not fun. Oh, it is raining today. I don't know if you can hear it, but it just started like pouring, so that's gonna be interesting. But yeah, if you saw my last video, I was very much in a state of panic, which sucked. I don't really like being in a state of panic. It's not fun, and I do enjoy fun. But you can't always choose everything. I've always known that, but sometimes it kind of sucks a little. So, I've been doing a lot of thinking, clearly. Sometimes you can hear me think, because I say it out loud in these videos. It's, yeah, it's been a thing. And I find myself struggling with how to talk today, apparently. So that's slightly annoying, but we'll figure it out. I have been thinking a lot, clearly. Or maybe it's not that clear. To me, it's very clear that I have been thinking a lot. It's needed. Desperately needed. So my last video, I was mostly in just a state of panic, which it's not a good way to live. So, but sometimes you can't quite help it. It just happens, and it sucks. So, instead of only panicking, because I feel like I've been doing that a lot, I wouldn't say that I realized, I've kind of known it all along, that just being in a state of panic is not going to help. It's not going to do me any good. It's not, simply just that. It's not helpful. And I kind of need myself to be helpful, I guess you could say. So, I have been thinking, and I need to talk to my parents about a possible solution, because they might be part of a possible solution. Or at the same time, I feel like calling it a solution doesn't quite, that's not fully right either, because it's not a solution per se. It's more of a way of a band-aid, basically. So, yeah. What am I thinking about? Well, apparently talking is really hard for me today, and I think it's because I don't really know how to attack this in a good way. So, my thought, and I would love input on these thoughts, whether they're absolutely crazy or maybe it could actually work. As I said, for some of it, I do need to talk to my parents. And the reason for that is, simply put, this place will be too expensive for me. I can't live here. With the raise in rent, I won't be able to live here. It will simply be too expensive. So and yes, that absolutely sucks. But at the same time, I have been kind of wanting to get out of this place for a while. So in that sense, it's not like it's the end of the world. So, you know, you gotta focus on the positive if you can find them. And it's not a full positive, but hey, it's better than nothing. So I'll take it. And the thought now, and as I said, yes, I definitely need to talk to my parents because they will be potentially a big part of this, is that if I can sell this place, and because of the increased rent, that in itself might be a big challenge actually. So that part sucks. But if I can sell this place, I obviously would need to move out. And then it's like, well, where do I go? I don't want to move in with my parents. That would not be fun for anyone. So moving in for like a longer period of time that's simply just not an option in any way. However, with that being said, there might be like a transition period if what I'm thinking, if it could work, I would need a transition period. And in transition period, I might have to live with parents if they agree. And I am lucky. My parents love me. We get along great, and they would want to help. So I consider myself very lucky because of that. Because honestly, not everyone's parents would help. Because, you know, not everyone has my parents, and I like my parents. And no, I'm not trying to butter them up because they have no idea about this channel, so they'll never see this. So, that's the thing. So, yeah. Potentially sell this place. Hopefully I'll be able to, even with like all the things happening. And then, which is why I would need to talk to my parents, potentially have to kind of crash at my parents for a little bit of time. Hopefully not a lot of time. Like the teeny tiniest amount of time. And then because I've been struggling to find a place to buy. And that has been, oh gosh, that's been a real challenge. And I clearly, obviously, still have not found it. A place to buy, that is. So, yes, that is very much a challenge. But if I can crash at my parents' place for a little bit between the time I sell this place and then find a place to rent, I wouldn't even be looking for a place to buy. Just a place to rent. I feel kind of bad saying that I don't really like living here because in a way it's a great place to live. For someone else. I'm not built to live the way I have to live here. So, that's a thing, clearly. But if I can get my parents on board with this so that I can sell this place and then crash at my parents' place while I find a place to rent and then, you know, rent. Because apparently I'm not capable of finding a place to buy. And although I haven't talked to the bank lately, I don't think they will be like super excited about lending me money when I don't have a job. So that's another challenge about the whole thing. So, yeah, I continue to say I need to talk to my parents about it, obviously, but I don't know. I think it could be a solution. not necessarily the best solution, but since I simply won't have, well, I simply won't have the money to stay here because the rent hike, well, I will need to figure something out, and I don't know if that will be kind of like the ultimate solution. I don't know, but I'm thinking it is worth a shot, trying it out, and maybe if I'm lucky, it will work out. I mean, very, very much fingers crossed on that one, clearly. So, because I've been thinking, I mean, I've been such in a state of panic, which I don't think it's healthy to be in such a state of panic all the time. It cannot possibly be healthy living like that. So, after my previous video, I started thinking. I mean, yes, I've been thinking about it for a while, but I started thinking like, for real, okay, I have to find a solution. I can't just talk about it and think about it, because that's what I've been doing. I have been thinking about it, and I have been talking about it, but I haven't really done anything. Which is not, like, what can I say? Sure, you need to think about things, but you also have to take action and actually do something. Because if you don't, nothing's gonna change. And I mean, I know that, but like the taking action part is sometimes really hard for me. And I have been, well, freaking out. And I guess you could say I got sick of freaking out all the time, so I wanted to actually do something, which is a good thing. So, yeah, and also, like, thinking back at, like, what I have been talking to you guys about, and I have been mostly freaking out and not really, I haven't really been considering solutions, not for real. I've just been, freaking out. And that's not helpful in the long run. If you want anything, and I mean anything, to change, you have to actually do something. You can't just sit around and wait. And let's be honest, to an extent, that is what I've been doing. Yep, it is. And I think I'm finally getting over that. You know, the sitting and waiting and not doing, just freaking out, because just freaking out is not, it's not helping me. I might actually go to the point of saying it's kind of actually hurting me in a way. And I don't think it's very nice to continuously hurt yourself, so I'm gonna give some unsolicited advice here. If you are in such a state of panic that, and yeah, I know it's hard to focus on anything when you are in a state of panic, so I'm gonna go with, if you're in a state of panic, allow yourself a little bit of panic, and then you have to kind of get real with yourself and actually do something, because if you don't, nothing's gonna change. You have to actually do something for anything to change. And I'm aware of that, but sometimes it's really hard to get out of that panic mode. So, I've been, in a way I'm gonna go with, I've been kind of helping myself by freaking out on camera and then watching it, and was like, yeah, that's not helpful anymore, is it? No, it's not. Okay, maybe I'm gonna try to actually do something helpful instead of just freaking out, because just freaking out ain't helpful. Let's change it to something that is actually helpful. And it's really hard. It's really, really hard, but it needs to be done. It has to be done, because if not, as I said, I'd be stuck. And that's not what I want. I don't want to be stuck. It sucks to be stuck. And I've been feeling stuck for so long that in a way I'm kind of used to it, but I don't want to be used to being stuck because it's not good for me. That I'm fully aware of. And that means that I have to do something, even though it's really hard. And I'm working on it. It's gonna take some time. But I think maybe that I haven't necessarily found the best solution, but I found a potential solution that might get me started at least. I'm not saying that it will solve everything, because I don't think it will, and I don't think things will magically work out and get better and all that. I don't really believe that. I do believe in taking action, which might sound weird because I'm not very good at it. But I'm working on it. And I think as long as you're working on something, you can get better at it. And even if you're feeling stuck, it doesn't mean that you are. Because feeling stuck is just that, a feeling. And not necessarily the full actual truth, if you get what I mean. It's a feeling, the feeling of being stuck. It's a very, very powerful feeling that I would not recommend, but God knows I've been feeling that lately. Actually, I've been feeling that for years. And the thought of selling this place and finding somewhere to rent and potentially have to crash a little bit at my parents', that is a thought that I haven't talked to my parents about, but I have been thinking about it for more than a year. So, you'd think that I would take action and, talk to my parents earlier, but no. Then we have the challenge about the taking action thing. And it is needed, take action. Because if you don't, nothing's going to change. You're going to still be exactly where you are. And I don't really like that. And I've been not liking it for a long time. And I think I'm finally getting to the point where I'm actually, ready to do something. Which is great. It's just a part of me totally wishes I had done something already, but clearly I haven't, because I'm still here in this house. So that's the thing. And all of these blues are almost the same. It's very annoying. But yeah, that is a potential plan. Oh, hold on. All right, so that is a potential plan. I'm not saying that that is what will actually happen, but because, I need to talk to my parents about if they're willing to do that for me, basically. Help me out, potentially letting me crash and, without actually crashing and burning, because that would suck. But yeah, I will need to talk to my parents about it. That is also an action step. And yeah, I don't know what will come of it, obviously, because I haven't done it yet. I'm hoping it's gonna be okay. And as I said, my parents are always there for me and always willing to help. So I'm hoping that works. At the same time, we are all in agreement that I will not be like moving in long term, and if I ever were to like have to crash at their place, because that part we have talked about, like if I find somewhere to buy and like, and then I sell and there's like, I have to be out of here before I can move into new place, then it will be a very short period of time, or at least hopefully a very short period of time. So I wouldn't actually be living there. I would just be kind of like, yeah, crashing for a little bit of time between other places. And that is something that we have actually talked about. And we all kind of agreed. But when we did talk about it, it was just an idea. It was not like very at the moment action. But we did agree that if something like that were to happen, it would have to be very limited, and it had to be like, we had to know the time limit basically. That sure, I'll come in at that point, and then by that date I will be out. We would not have like, oh, I'm gonna live there and wait to see if I find something indefinitely. No, that will not happen. That would not, I don't think that would be healthy for any of us. We would need a time frame. It's like, okay, I need to move at that time, and I have like a month between places. And that will be kind of like the time of when I will be crashing at my parents'. And that will be kind of like, that would be like somewhat acceptable. I don't think any of us would be like super excited about it. And it has nothing to do with not liking each other. It's just, we have our separate lives. Yeah, I haven't lived with my parents since I first moved out. That's actually not true. I did have like a stint of like a 2-month period where I kind of crashed at my parents after I stopped being a student and before I moved, not here, but some other place. And I had like 2 months at home. Yeah, that's many years ago though, so we have all changed since then. And in the beginning, that was a little bit of a, like an indefinite thing. It was, it did not take long before before it wasn't all that pretty anymore, so to speak. There were quite a lot of friction happening. So, which is why I think it's very important that we have like a time limit on it. And that we agree on, I don't know, house rules or whatever before I potentially move in. I don't know. I mean, so in a way we have talked about it before, but not, okay, this is hopeless, but not like as, kind of as realistically. It was more like kind of an imagined scenario that we doubted would ever happen. But if it were to ever happen, these are the potential parameters. But yeah, it wasn't like a true discussion at that point. Now we might have to have a true discussion about it. That'll be interesting. I mean, I don't think they would want me to have to like not have a place to live. And none of us want me to live there long term. And I think we would all agree on that very quickly. So I'm not mad about that. Definitely not. But it would be I think it would be good for me if I talked to them about it. So, you know, we can all start mentally preparing for such a possibility that none of us really want. But sometimes, as an adult, and as a kid, sometimes you have to do things you don't really want to do. It's unfortunately part of life, I guess. And yeah, so I would need to talk to my parents, but that is a potential solution. I'm not saying that it is a solution, but it is. I feel like it might be at least a potential short-term solution. So, what do you guys think? Do you think it's a potential solution, or do you think it's like, oh my god, that should never happen? Or, and yeah, I know you don't know my parents, but like, I don't know. It's just, I would like to have some input, please. I would really, really like that. Because as you can clearly tell, I'm, as usual, a little all over the place, but I feel like I stayed pretty much on track today, which is, honestly, I find that surprising. Good, but surprising. But yeah, I'm not sure. Clearly, I'm really not sure. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't want to move in with my parents, but I am struggling with the seeing solutions, because I'm partly stuck in the oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god type of panic, which is not helpful. Clearly not helpful. But I mean, there is a potential, at least. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, something needs to happen. Clearly. How do I figure out exactly what needs to happen? That seemed to have escaped me for the time being. So, yeah. It's a thing. But that is, I don't know, I feel like it could be, I feel like it could be a potential solution. Yeah, a potential solution. Because I honestly am not sure what else to do. So, yeah. It's, I feel like, I don't know, it's hard. And coming up with solutions when your brain feels stuck. And as I said, yes, I know, it's just a feeling. It's not the truth. But it feels like the truth. And that is making it hard for me to, come up with solutions. Come up with ideas, because I'm so panicky and stuck. It's not fun. I keep laughing, but it's not fun. And I don't know how to deal with it. I think that's part of the challenge. I have no idea how to deal with it, because it's such a big thing, and I'm used to, living alone. And just imagine, I've been living alone for, except the 2 months that I was staying with my parents between having being a student and before I got a job and moved. Those 2 months were not, we did not see eye to eye. we've all changed since then, because that is, oh God, that's like, let me think. That is about 12 or 13 years ago. Things have happened since then. And I mean, I've been and apart from those 2 months, I've been living on my own, all by myself, for 17 years. Wow. Yep, 17 years. That's how long I've been living alone. And then going from like only having to consider myself to potentially have to consider other people after 17 years. Oh my God. Just the thought about it is like, holy shit, that's gonna be something, all right? Wow. That's gonna be oh, 17 years. Well, you know, time flies, I guess. God. But yeah, that's how long I've been living on my own. Have you ever lived alone? Like, not with family or a husband or children or whatever? Have you ever lived, like, have you been the only person in your household? And if you have been the only person in your household for a long time, and then if you moved in with someone else, or someone moved in with you for that matter, have you done that? How was the change? How did you handle it? If you ever done something like that, how did you handle it? Like, it's such a, I can't help but think that must be such a different dynamic, because, you know, when you're alone, there is really no dynamic to speak of because you're alone. But in such a case, it would be such a shift, I imagine. I mean, as I said, I haven't really tried, but I imagine that there would be, oh God, I can't imagine. Maybe that's part of the challenge. I can't even begin to imagine such a change. So, like, God, I don't know. It is an interesting thought, though. Like, how, at least for me, I mean, I'm very used to living on my own. So just the thought of having to live with someone else is like such a foreign thought, such a foreign feeling. And it's like, how would that even almost happen? How would you make it work without, like, trying to want to kill each other? Because you have your own ways of doing things. Like, how, gosh, how does that work? And, like, yeah. Oh, I'd probably be so freaked out. One thing, because I'm not used to it. And I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it works out, like, it takes some time getting used to, at least. I would imagine. But how, yeah, I don't even know how to ask, what to ask. Help me out here. How would you go about it even? Because you're so used to, or at least in my case, I'm so used to living alone. It's like, what? How? Yeah. How? How would that work? How would you get used to living with someone else again? I mean, even if it's just for a short period of time, just, I don't know, oh, now that I think about it, it's like, oh my God, can I really even consider doing such a thing? That would be such, I don't even know, such a change. Just massive change for both parties, not just like for one side, but like it would be a big change for all, or at least for a time. So like, God, how would it work? I don't know. God, I'm starting to freaking out just thinking about it now. So, maybe I should stop thinking about it and actually talk to my parents about it. And I will. I think I need to mentally prepare for such a suggestion. And because it's such a foreign thought. Like, maybe move in? Sure, it's my parents. I know them. I love them. But like, living with my parents again? Now? It's like, what? I don't know. It's, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know about that one. But I'll potentially figure it out. Gosh. Well, I have just apparently found a new thing to freak out about. So, yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you have a nice day. I hope you live somewhere you enjoy, doing something you enjoy. I am still working on those for my end, but I don't know. I think I'm starting to figure it out. I'm just like not there, and I'm not like, yeah, the financial thing is a big thing. So I hope your finances are in order, because mine apparently will be needing some help. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!